Okay,
Okay, please introduce yourself, Mozart.
so first of all, thank you for the invitation, and it's a tremendous pleasure. And first of all, I would like to say sorry about my English, but let's do the best that I can. Okay.
Your English is
So,
great.
Thank you, thank you. So as I said before, in the last 20 years, I have been a coach for development and performance, peak performance. Normally we say that. And the 10 years ago, I developed the coaching for global financial leaders. And nowadays I have working with career coaching and career transition. Normally call that as outplacement. And my specialization is in leadership development, inclusiveness, leadership, diversity and inclusion, training and development, and with corporative universities, and we learn trainings too. Normally, I have to develop contents for colleagues and postgraduate, and assessments, organization performances, or else strategic planning and things like that, normally connected with the human resources in the company. I get a message here. This meeting is being recorded by the host or the participants. Okay.
Yes, I'm recording it. I'm recording it onto my computer, and then after our meeting, I'll upload it to YouTube, and then we'll post the link inside of all of our communication links, so people can go there and watch the video, because some people could not come.
Okay, awesome. So I'm okay for your questions. So let's do what I can do.
Okay, so Adolfo is our other person that's here tonight as a host speaker. And Adolfo, could you introduce yourself, please?
I'm more curious tonight because, Mozart is the specialist here. I will also ask questions for him because Bruce sent the questions beforehand, and it's really interesting there. There are some follow-up questions, so I will assume this role of also questioning Mozart and sending questions to him. So I'm a lecturer in marketing at FECAP and ESPM. And I also have a consultant company. I'm a marketing consultant, and that's what I do. And I've been working in several different projects. I've worked in multinational companies before I entered this consultant company with some friends and professors at the University of São Paulo and other schools. And I teach marketing related topics, and I research consumer behavior more specifically. And I'm finishing my PhD in February, so that's why I lost my hair.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the first question. And by the way, my name is Bruce, and people call me Uncle Bruce because I'm older, so oh well. Anyway, so here's my first question. I'm putting it in the chat, so you can look at the chat for the meeting today, and you can see the first question. So as we are approaching the new year, 2023, what are some important things to remember in considering jobs? Some people are looking for a job as they're without a job currently. Some are looking for a new job inside the same company, and others outside the company. And some are considering looking for a new career. So in regards to this idea of employment, if you will, in thinking about changing a job or finding a job, what are some things that we can think about for this 2023 upcoming year, Mozart?
Well, but I can say that it's many concerning points have to be strongly considered, mainly connected with economy aspects. I would point that inflation, increase unemployment, and economic downturn. So under these aspects, I would like to remember points that are quite important to all people that are looking for a job. First of all, preparation. You have one bullet and one shot during your interview. I mean, just one chance to provide a good impression. have to be clear for your, all this have to be clear for you about the company, the market, and your expectations. Is very serious. This moment is really serious for you. Maybe the second is don't look for a job, look for a work. When you change your mindset for these situations, you normally open your eyes for new opportunities that you never seen before. I mean, normally we are looking for a position in the company. So it's 1,000 people, running for the same position, and depends on the position they are looking for. The pyramid is more, thin in the top. So normally when you look for a position, it's more difficult than you change your mindset when you change your mindset for work. The third, find a mentor, someone that can drive you for new standards of quality and excellence. And then the last 104, be patient, be resilient, be persistent, and never give up until you get your job or work. Normally the people after 1 month looking for a job or 2 months, I normally work with C-levels, and after 6 months they are completely desperate. It's a find of my life, it's the end of world, and normally the work of the coach at this time is to prepare their mind or their psychological structure for to be more resilient, be more patient, but persistent to looking for a position, for a job or work.
Okay. Any comments, Adolfo?
Yeah. And what are the hot areas you see for 2023? And what are the bad areas to be in this new year?
IT.
IT is the hot area or the bad one?
Oh, it's the best. They are looking. I understood the hot, right?
Yeah, hot. Yeah.
Yes. So it's I think the IT, that's majority of the companies are looking for this. And in this point, if you are preparing for applications, apps for cellulars or specialists in this, the second, the connection with the things, the third, robotics, all these aspects that involve technologies, and robotics for industries, and the intelligence of the things, connections with, your refrigerators, your car, things like that.
Yeah, refrigerator, go down the street, get me a beer, please.
Yes. is the house
yeah, it's interesting because I've been watching several layoffs in big companies in the US, especially big techs, right? Facebook, Google, Amazon, and some big companies, and some huge layoffs. So yeah, I guess IT in Brazil is still a hot area, right?
Yeah. The second industry is agriculture. All things connected with that it's developed a lot, and all the technology involved with agribusiness. I mean, chemistry, trades,
drones.
Yes, all of that is in agriculture.
Okay, good. I had a few comments, and one is that when people are unemployed, they say that I'm unemployed. I think that's a bad expression to use. I tell them to say they are in between jobs, because they had a job and they're going to have another job whenever that comes, but they're not unemployed, because when they think about unemployed, it's like almost they're unemployable. It's like, I can't get a job, I'm unemployable. I don't have skills to get another job. But like you said, Mozart, the positive thinking is so important, to keep a positive viewpoint on everything. And it's going to reflect in your way that you answer questions in an interview. It's going to reflect in your general person as you're presenting yourself, that you are positive about your life, about what's going on. I think that's an essential factor too. is having a positive, we say, oh, we have PMA. Let me write it here, PMA, positive mental attitude. You need to have PMA. It's just an expression, you need PMA. Because when I have a positive mental attitude about my life and about my job future, it's okay. It's going to come. Like you said, you need to have patience. It takes time. It doesn't come like that, you know. But also networking in English Brazil has been beneficial to many people already. You know, that they talk with people. Yeah, I'm not working right now. I work in this area. Oh, really? Oh, give me a call later on, okay? And they make a connection between the people inside the group. It's so cool. So cool. I haven't heard of any weddings yet, but I know that's going to come.
Normally we use the term, normally we use the term intrinsic transition. And it's nice. It's interesting what you said, because in LinkedIn, for instance, normally when the people are looking for a job, they put open to work. Open to work. It's nice, right? It's good.
Yep. So let me get my second question here. And does anybody else have any questions right now for the first one?
Just,
I guess Lida has, yes.
Yeah, Mozart, how do you see the growth of the entrepreneurship in IT, in fintech and health tech? Because there is a lot of investment and maybe these two areas are the most demanded in investments. They are, I read something like 50% of investments are in fintech and 35% of investments in Brazil are for health tech. How do you see this is?
Wow, that is a tough question, huh? It's a $1 million question. Well, I've seen, by the way, one of my kids are involved with fintechs. I really hope that's improved a lot for particular interests. You know? That's what I have seen. Let me see. Normally, you know, it's really curious because now I remember that in Minas Gerais, curiously, are improving a lot of health facts, right? That are improving a lot of tools for health approaches. And the fintechs, you know, I have seen a lot of fintechs, you know, they are making some kind of mergings to get more customers and to get more technologies because they are growing very fast. And after 6 months, they give up for the market or they don't get a resource enough. So I understood that if I put some money, if I have money for that, I improve my health tax for this, you know. I really prefer this kind of business. I have seen, you know, with more improvements.
Okay, let's go to the next question here. It says, I know that many companies do their initial interviews online these days. What is the best way to present myself to others online? What background should I have? What attire should I wear? And can I use a phone as opposed to a computer?
Well, the first recommendation that I can make is be calm. Remember, you have then an advantage. You are talking their mother language. So focus on the proposal of the interview. Prepare your career storytelling. Remember numbers, percentage, reductions, incrementals, etc. That you have. Your story is quite important, you know. Secondly, when someone asks about situation that we are involved to resolve, remember the store explanation. Store explanation normally has been used at Amazon recruiters. It means situation, task, action, and results. So if you can arrange your story based on this store, situation, task, action, and results, you'll be more clear to your recruiter understand. And never be redundant.
Redundant.
You know, be clear, summarized, focus on results. And remember, normally the recruiters want to be fast on these meetings and try to up their curiosity about you. You know, so it's important to be more, you know, more than friendly, more than develop your rapport with your recruiters. It's important to be interested for the job. Because normally the recruiters, they think what the technical aspects this guy have to be improved in our company. The second, why I want to be with this guy. How this guy, it's you know, it's friendly to be a part of our teams, or for the teams that I'm involved with, or the team, because the recruiters normally don't work with you, don't will be worked with you. He's a part of the process to recruit you. But you have to be a very nice guy to be a part of that team. But during the interview, it's more important to show them that how good are you in this for this position. So numbers, you know, percentages is quite important. Oh, what do you have done in the other company? Show them the numbers, show the percentage, your success facts that you participate, results. That's the point. Exactly that. Results. Organizations looking for results.
Good. Any comments by anybody?
Yeah, I would say that it's important to learn about the company. And I always say to my students that they have to find a company that fits their personal values, right? Otherwise, they won't be happy. So they need the money, they have to work. But when they ask me for advice, I always say, research the company you are applying to, the job, and see if the values, you know, have a fit with your personal values and things like that. And then when you go to the interview, you are really prepared because you know the company's values and things like that. I don't know if it makes sense for you, Moses, but
yes,
I think it's one important thing, right?
Yes, because you put in line your speech with their expectations. You know, it's important to what you said, Rodolfo, when you say about, let's see the values of the companies, how the ambiance, where is the atmosphere, where's the humor, you know. So normally it's nice when it's quite important to say when you make some research before. It's a part of the job for sure. You know, it's
and you can choose what you wear, if it's a more formal company or not. I was reading Bruce's question here, and he mentions that you have to find a fit between the company and what you will wear, the language you will use, right?
I remember an interview that I wear 4 years ago. I was using a tie, you know, and so look at me. Which planet you came from? You know, I'm a complete alien. You know, I said, Jesus, I'm complete out for that. You know, and I put all my ties there. It's a part of museum nowadays.
How many people have seen the Intern, the movie called The Intern about the Google people, the Google with the workers? If you haven't seen that movie, it's very good. Called The Intern, Estagiário, I think it is in Portuguese. It was very good. It's about Google, and it's very cool. Very cool. So, any other comments by anybody?
You said about dress code. Yes, dress code is quite important. You know, dress code, Leonis, it helps to make a rapport, to be a part of the team. You know, you cannot normally the dress code is helps the combinations. You know, you feel good. It's a
Yeah, that was part of my question about how should I dress? And I think that both of you guys, Rodolfo and Mozart, you said you need to understand the culture of the company before you go into this interview. You need to understand how do they dress, because there are some places they expect you to wear a blue suit. Some want you to have a black suit, and they want to have a tie or no tie. Everybody's different. Every company has its own culture. Who wants to work with Twitter today? With Elon Musk? Anybody?
Only the immigrants that are on the way to lose their visas.
There are some immigrants who take a good chance at that job, but I mean, he's up and down and everywhere. He's just all over the place as to what he wants to do with the company. You know, he's made a lot of money over his time, and he's done some smart things, but with Twitter, doesn't seem like he's doing a very good job. But, you know, that's a different culture altogether. But you need to understand how to dress, even for the interview online. You know, what is the expectation, like you guys are talking about?
Yeah, recently I saw an interview with the ex-president of FTX. It's a trade for cryptos and crypto coins. An interview that he was there with Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton with, for sure, with tie, I think like that, black suit, and the president of this crypto company, he was using shorts, a kind of shorts, t-shirts, you know. It's a completely dissonant things, you know. It's I said it's really crazy for this kind of interview.
Yeah,
well,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I recommend this kind of, you know, t-shirts, polo. It's
Polo t-shirts
honest.
because it has a collar, so it's semi-formal, kind of, you know, but it's not too formal.
Yeah.
So my third question to you guys: how can I leverage my English to gain an advantage in an interview? How can I use my English? Not every company is going to have an English interview because it's not a multinational. It's a Brazilian company. You don't need English, but you could insert something in English, I think, to show that you have that language capability. What do you think?
Well, me first again.
Yes, please. You're the man, dude. You're the dude.
Okay. There are two things you must know very, very well: English and Excel. You have to show to your interviewer your capacity to represent the company, the organization, every situation or occasion, you know. The fluency in English open more doors and opportunities for sure. It's a business language everywhere. Normally, when you see someone who speaks a good English in the company, for instance, the human resources, the leaders looks at you with more hope and put you in front of more challenges, you know, and it gets more conditions to promotions, conditions to be more connected with other things around the world, if you be a part of international companies. If the Brazilian company wanted to open doors for international trades, for sure the English is the language for that. So English and Excel, you have to be proficient in these two things.
English became like a standard, even if you are not, you are not using English in your work. The companies ask for English in a certain level, right? And there are many ways to practice that. You can record yourself. You can find, interview questions online, and you can answer to those questions. I don't know if you guys know that Google developed an interview software. It's not a software. It's a tool that you practice your interview and you get feedback from artificial intelligence and things like that.
Cool.
So it doesn't give you feedback on your English, but it does, like you should have answered this way or that way, or your answer is good. I didn't test that, but I heard that it's working pretty well. So in a way to practice for a job interview.
Okay. Well, one thing I've noticed is that even in the Brazilian companies, inside the national companies, they still want you to have English at the upper levels, like you were talking about, Mozart. Having a chief executive officer, the CEO. And by the way, it's pronounced CEO, not CEO. Okay, I know the
Mhm.
Brazilians, they
CEO
love to say
of-
CEO. But you have to
CEO of
pronounce
SEALs.
every letter has to be pronounced for an American to understand. And
Mhm.
so all the chief executive officers and internet officers or IT officers, whatever, I know that they have some ability with English, but there's an expectation that they understand English very well, so that if they ever have to represent the company in their capacity towards a multinational company, they have this ability. And so as we grow in our careers, we need to have English at a good level, intermediate or above. You cannot be basic as a chief
No.
officer.
And when I receive some CEO with not good English, it's quite difficult to relocation or some transition, because it's a part of executive presence to have this kind of communication, this facility, or this ability to talk in English.
Mhm.
And to represent the companies everywhere. Any fairs that you go everywhere, you have to talk in English. Have no excuses, no conditions to be a good part of that without English, right?
Okay, so that leads me to the next question here, number 4. Do you think it is necessary to go to another country to become more fluent in English? In your opinions? Everybody's different, and I can tell you this, everybody's different with their English, their learning process. Some people get it like this, and the others, like me, take a long time to learn the language, but I'm getting there.
Well, it's a good question. I would say it's not mandatory to go into another country. The important is to have a contact frequently with the language. But if you have an opportunity to travel abroad or live in another country, please don't lose the opportunity. Normally, when you go outside, when you go abroad, I had an opportunity to live in Texas. By the way, in Texas, you don't speak English.
No.
I remember a time that I said, okay, okay, I give up. So what kind of language are you talking here? So when I came back to Brazil, I go to Cultura Inglesa and said, give me my money back because I cannot understand what you're saying. Absolutely. So when you leave there, you have to contact with the culture. The culture is quite important. The expressions, what they're using, how they understand the life, or how they understanding, the cosmovision of the population there. So it's important, yes, but it's not mandatory. It's important to be a very clear in understanding of English, because nowadays, by the way, as this situation, nowadays it's quite normal with Zoom, with Teams, or Google meetings. Nowadays, it's more normal. The people are preferring this kind of meetings. So
especially for English, because we have lots of content in English, so you can learn English from everywhere. I can imagine Bruce in Michigan trying to learn Portuguese. It would be really hard, but for us, you can learn English from everywhere. So I would say that it's not necessary to go to another country to become more fluent, but once you reach a certain level of English, like an advanced level, then if you want to become really fluent, then you have to go, because of what Mozart said, the culture and the way they speak, the accent and things like that. So to become more fluent, you can become more fluent from everywhere. But once you reach a certain level of English, then to go to the other level, I think you have to go to another country. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that gives you a different perspective and different horizon when you go to another country and engage in that culture wherever you go, whether it be in England, Ireland, or the United States, South Africa, Australia. There are so many countries that have the major language of English. That's their principal language. But even in, I think it's in Singapore, I think that I want to say a high number, it was like about 27% of the families in Singapore speak English in the house. 27%. It's like considering Brazil. the percent of people speaking English in the house is probably 1%, 2%, something like that. It isn't high. They speak Portuguese. Okay, they don't speak English in the house like you know, an American would speak in their home. But in Singapore, 27%, I think, is a high number like that, 27, 24%. So when you speak English like on a regular basis, like you're talking about, Mozart, it becomes more of a natural thing to think in that language because you're talking it all the time. That's why I think that you can do immersion in Brazil using English Brazil meetings. You know, you can do immersion for 1 week, for 1 month. You know, it depends on your schedule. If you do a week, that's like 22 meetings. We only had one guy that did every meeting for like 3 months, and now he's in Canada living, and he's doing okay. He couldn't get the English without doing more and more meetings. He tried classes with people, private teachers, everybody. He couldn't get it until he just said, you know what? I need to go all these meetings, and maybe I can't talk, but I can listen. I can listen and try to understand the conversation. And he got it, and now he's speaking intermediate. And he'll be upper intermediate in a short period because he's immersed in the language now in Canada. So I think the number of sessions that a person has on a weekly basis is a big indication of what you're willing to dedicate for your English training. And so, you know, going to another country is wonderful, but look at the cost to go there to learn to speak more fluently. If you go there for leisure, to have fun, that's another factor too. I love to travel and go. I don't like to fly. I hate flying, man. 8, 9, 10 hours on the plane. My back is hurting. My legs are hurting. It's like, man, I don't want to fly, but I want to go see my family. Okay, so you have to put up with all these little, you know, aches and pains.
Yeah.
So in regards to listening, I want to tell you guys that a good way to train your listening is by doing TED Talks. You listen to a TED Talk video presentation, and you can select, I want to see the translation, not the translation, what do they call it? Transcript. I want to see the transcript. I'm going to share my screen with you just a moment, just to explain that for a little bit here. It's only going to take a couple minutes. So I'm going to go here to TED Talks. Go here. And TED. So TED.com. TED started out as technology, entertainment, and design. That's how it started out, TED. So it's grown to many, many more subjects. Let's see. So I'm going to go down, scroll down here until I get to an area that's older, because I want to show you. Let's pick this guy here, talking about AI, artificial intelligence. So here you can say, I want to read the transcript. So you select that here, and here comes the transcript. So you play the audio and the video, and you'll see as the guy is talking, the transcript will move. As we start, this is an advertisement. Now,
computer algorithms today are performing incredible tasks with high accuracies at a massive scale using human-like intelligence. And this intelligence of computers is often referred to as AI, or artificial intelligence. AI is poised to make an incredible impact on our lives in the future.
Okay, so you can see his accent is different than mine, but you can hear him. He's from Pakistan. I think that's what I saw. But you can hear his voice and you can see the words. So you start putting the words and the voice together. And that's how you can listen and learn to listen better, is by this methodology. So I highly recommend that to understand how to listen and understand, because inside of TED.com, there are thousands of these videos. In this video here was only about 5 minutes. Some are about 20 minutes. That was the standard in the past. But 20 minutes is not a long time. If you could dedicate 20 minutes a day, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days a week, it'd be a great help to you, a great help. So,
and do you recommend that we put the transcript right away, or try to watch the video once without the transcript?
I start with a transcript, and see how
Okay.
that goes. If you are ready to say, I don't need the transcript, that's great. That's great. You don't need, some speakers, you may not need the transcript, but some you may say, the language is a little bit different. For me, people who from India, the English from India is hard. It's for me, it's hard. And for Brazilians, it's easier. I don't understand. I don't
Yeah, because they are not speaking English, they are speaking Globish. So it's the global English.
That's a good expression, Globish.
So we all speak Globish. We are not native speakers, so we don't speak English. We speak Globish.
Yes, it's very
the
cool.
global English.
So I just wanted to share with you guys that listening is 50% normally of a conversation. You talk, they talk, you talk. So 50% of the time you're listening. So to train your listening, you do this. You do something like this where you're listening and seeing the words that correlate with what you hear with your audio. Okay? So that you can make the connection. And if you don't know a word, I recommend that you use a dictionary to find out. This is your training time. Use a dictionary to find out what that word means so you understand completely in the context what that person is saying. So it's just a recommendation for you guys to do that. Okay, so let me go on to another question. Unless you guys have another question about this English part here.
Oh, Lilia mentioned something here in the chat that is really interesting. That it's good when you are talking to somebody that, you know, someone that speaks English better than you, or a native speaker or someone like this, because you have this as an example, right? You can see and you can correct yourself, and you can like listen more attentively to that. So yeah, I really believe in what Lilia mentioned here. It's hard.
Interesting, the program that you said that Google is developing, because if the program corrects your pronunciation, this is very important. For me, this is the most difficult.
No, it doesn't correct the pronunciation. I think that it corrects the content. You know, you are presenting in an interview.
The building of phrases.
Yeah.
Because I see this accommodation. If the people are understanding what you are saying, that's okay. Even that you are making a lot of mistakes. But if I go to a company and I need to represent this company beyond other people, it's not good to have a bad English or more or less English. It needs to be a proficient English for everything. And I see, and I see that also the vocabulary, the glossary is very specific for each size of company or area of business. So these are my anxieties about my English.
Okay, any other comments? Leo?
Yes, I said that it's not important. Where you are. Is the who do you practice your English with? For example, if I practice my English with Bruce, who is a native speaker, okay, I don't have to be. Sometimes you are in the United States, but you are in a community where people speak Portuguese. Okay, so they don't improve their English. Okay, sometimes they are with Brazilian, with Portuguese, from Portugal, from Brazil, or some African countries. Okay, so what is important is who do you practice your English with?
Okay.
Yes. I have a personal experience with that. I sent my kid, one of my kids, to have English lessons in England during 1 year, but he was in Brazilian community. What happened? I lost my money.
Yeah.
he didn't improve his English at all. Wow. He only enjoyed the time there. Okay, was awesome. Party all the time, you know. Well, but your English, okay, so give my money back. In dollar, in livre.
Or pounds.
I think when you are an immigrant, it's very difficult to get involved with the native speakers, because they Okay, sometimes you are going to, it depends what your job is. Sometimes you relate to people from your country, the first contact. Okay, so I was told that Americans don't like to talk with people from abroad. Okay, so as they get to know you better, so they start talking to you. So at first, okay, so the first months are very hard.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
Okay,
But if you are for example, if you are studying in a school, something like that, or a college, okay, so you're gonna have chance, okay, to speak. But if you are there to spend some time, so sometimes it's difficult.
I will tell you guys that I'm planning to coordinate a trip to the United States next year, probably in the fall, September, October timeframe. And it'll probably be to New York, and maybe Washington, DC.
Hmm.
So I want to do this. This will be the pilot program, but I intend to do this to other places too. I intend to do it like to the West Coast with California. And I don't know, maybe Chicago in the future, my city in Michigan. But I think it's great to be able to go as a group and to maybe have a class in the morning and a class in the afternoon, but the other time is open to just do something else, go to museums, go to festivals, whatever it may be. I think it'd be great. And I don't know how long it'd be, 1 week, 10 days, something like that. But I think it'd be good to bring together the group from English Brazil for those that can and want to go. So here's the number 5 question. How can a coach help me in my desire to make a change in career or search outside my company? Do you work with headhunters? That's Mozart.
Mhm. Well,
Oh, do you see how I pronounce his name?
100% Moser.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, Mozart is how I pronounce it in English.
Mozart. Mozart.
Yes, Mozart.
Oh, thank you. The coaching process helps the people to understand better who are they, where and why they are where they are. Coaching helps people to be and to do better. Coaching helps people to improve their competences and skills up to excellence that is possible. And the coaching shares new ideas, brainstorms, and thoughts about their positions, new possibilities, and market. Coaching lives on the backstage when you're talking about career and development of the people. Normally, we are looking for, the trigger, the moment that all the things that you are thinking about make sense for you. Normally, you know what you have to do, but you never do what you want to do or you need to do, or, it's almost biblical sometimes, the things, Paulo, the apostle, already said it before, the thing that I wanted to do, I don't do it. So normally when you are in the organization, normally you know what you have to do. But it's not make sense for you sometimes, or it's not important for you sometimes. So the coaching process are looking for, this moment, that trigger, that, make lights for you. You can say that epiphany, you can say, normally you have a download for all the things, and suddenly make, now it makes sense for me. Now it's make reasons for me, now it's clear for me. And because if you don't have this, you're doing just your job every single day, and normally the majority of the people involved with the organizations, they are doing the job with not, as a mission, put in the value, put excellence in this. They are doing the job they are asking for do. They are, they're involved with. When you put some coaching process, you normally discover it in your position and do it better. And the second question is about headhunters, right?
Mhm.
If I'm connected to the headhunters, yes, sometimes I'm connected with them for some positions, special positions, or specific positions, normally for C-levels, presidents, VPs, things like that. And normally the headhunters talk with me about some problems they are living in some organizations to develop this kind of people, you know. Yes, I have a good networking with them.
Mhm. Okay, I think a key word that I have found in my life is passion. If I have passion for something, it's almost as if I'm not working. I'm enjoying what I do, but I'm doing something constructive, like with English Brazil. English Brazil is a project that I started with other people, but they did not continue because of different reasons, partially, mainly because of money. There was no money. And there really isn't any money right now for me. You know, as the owner of the company, I'm not making any money. I'm investing money even now. And I probably will be for another year or so. But I hope after 1 year, one more year, that we'll start making enough money that I can get a little money back. You know, I've invested a lot over the years. I'd like to see some of it come back, maybe give some to my grandkids. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you know, I'm probably not going to see anything that I'm going to be able to use in my life to sustain my life. But that's okay. I'm retired now, so it's not something I have to worry about, you know, having a paycheck every month to say I've earned my money. I'm enjoying what I do. I'm enjoying it a lot. I have a passion to help Brazilians to learn English so that Brazil can be a country that says we speak English as a strong second language, like in France, like in Germany. Their native languages are not English, but they can still, when they finish high school, they can speak basic English normally. Some can speak intermediate, some advanced. Everybody's different when they learn. But the school system there, I know they don't use Portuguese to teach English. They don't use German to teach English. They don't use French. They use English to teach English. This is a big problem in Brazil because the student is being taught with their native language to learn English. And that's because the kids need to pass a test. If the kids didn't pass the test, the teacher did a bad job. They didn't teach the kid how to pass the test. Dude, that's not the way. You need to use the language so that when you get done with your class of English, you can start speaking the language. You don't need to wait until you're an adult and after you've had classes in a private school for years and you still can't speak, then you need something like English Brazil. They don't use English to teach English. They use the Portuguese in the public schools and some private schools. And this is the big problem. And the schools, they teach the books, you know, use this book. After that book, there's another book and another book because they make money on the books. They make money for the classes. English Brazil is only here to help you guys learn how to speak English at a higher level so you can teach everybody in your circle of influence, okay? Your nieces, your nephews, your kids, grandkids, okay? You can teach them English. You can teach them English because you know how to speak already. That's the objective with English Brazil. So this idea of coaching people, you know, English is a part of that. It's about all the other aspects of positive mindedness, about having the right attitude, having the right clothing, having the right the answers to the questions, preparing all. It's a total package, and English is a part of that. And so that's why English Brazil is taking the time to do this tonight to help you guys understand coaching is so important, and a part of that is English too. Okay, and that's why people are volunteering to be part of English Brazil with being the organizers. Some people receive money and some others don't. Adolfo does not receive money. I don't receive money either, okay? But I'm just saying, some people are volunteering their time because they get something out of the English project too. Out of English Brazil, they get something out of it. So it's there for everybody, but I hope that over the next year or so, we will start increasing with the numbers, that the money will start coming in more, so we can give people more money. If they're receiving money now, we can give them a little bit more. They don't get a lot. but they get some. So, but anyway, any final comments about coaching and preparing for 2023 from anybody? What about from Brando? About Felipe, Geselene, iPhone Vinici, Lilia? Any comments? Oh, Mozart, can you show your screen? You can share the screen there and show them your contact information.
Yes, how I can share that? Let's see.
Down at the bottom, the share screen, the green.
Yep, here is screen share.
Mhm.
Can you see that?
Yes, perfect. So guys, you can take a screenshot of this and you'll have the information to contact Mozart if you have a need or a desire. So he can help you understand how he can help you. And so, great. And then Adolfo, do you have something you can share with us too, please?
Yes. Let me put it here.
I have to stop
it.
my share. Oops. Okay.
No, I already stopped.
Okay, so
Sorry for the interruption.
So
So
here
yeah,
you can take a screenshot of this one too for Adolfo.
yeah, my email, my phone, because I don't have any social media, not even LinkedIn, because I don't want to work more. I want to work less.
You already do enough with IT. That's enough, huh? Yeah, you do a lot already. Okay, so you guys also, if you could just put your link inside the chat here, just your how to contact you, your phone number, and your email, whatever. So guys, appreciate you coming out tonight. I hope you enjoyed it to some degree. You guys not asking any questions, I guess. No problem at all, huh? You guys are here for a purpose, that is to learn something about what you can do to prepare yourself for the next year. Some people don't have a job, some people want a different job, and some people want to retire. So I don't know which category you fit in, but this is all good information for everybody. So appreciate you coming out. And that's it for today, unless you guys have any further comments. Lily.
It was a pleasure to meet Mozart and to participate. So thank you very much for the invitation, Bruce. And it
Yes,
was really nice
thank you, guys.
to hear Mozart saying, you know, those words about career and some inspiring words. Thank you, Mozart.
First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's my first time here. It was a tremendous pleasure to talk about this. So I'll be free for all questions after that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I really desire a Merry Christmas for all and a good year
Yes.
for 2023. And you know, let's do it.
Sounds good, yeah.
Walking, keep walking.
So that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and then I'll make this available in the social media and stuff so you guys can see it in the future or recommend for your friends to see it. So have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.